Welcome back to the Malaysia Money Matters Show. It's July 16th, 2025.
Good to be here.
Today, we're cutting through the noise again. We'll pull the key bits from your curated sources on Malaysian companies and then, broaden out to the big international and political shifts.
Exactly. The goal is always to figure out what really matters for you and what the ripple effects might be. And there's quite a bit happening.
Okay, let's dive right in. Malaysian companies first. Property News, YNH Property. They've ended a joint development in Segambut.
That's right. Terminated it. And they've sold the land straight to Chin Hin Group Property. RM685 million.
So Chin Hin takes over completely now. It's a pretty big project too, right? Estimated GDV around RM685 million.
Yeah, that's the potential total sales value. So it's a really clear strategic shuffle. YNH steps away, maybe de-risking a bit, while Chin Hin doubles down, gets full control.
Interesting. Okay, next up, Nationgate Holdings. This sounds serious. Their subsidiary was raided by the MACC.
Alleged scrap metal smuggling. And the numbers involved are huge, potentially RM950 million in lost tax revenue for the government.
Wow. And the market reacted.
Oh yeah, shares dropped sharply. But the bigger impact really is the signal it sends. The government's clearly serious about tackling corporate misconduct, tax evasion.
Right. It puts everyone on notice, basically, increases accountability.
Exactly. Forces companies to really check their compliance. It affects market confidence, too.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. DXN Holdings. Something about Langkawi.
Yes, they've partnered with Invest Kedah. They're looking at ecotourism, aquaculture, farming projects there, starting with a fish hatchery.
So more focus on local development.
Precisely. Creating local jobs in Kedah, which is great. And it also helps, reduce Malaysia's reliance on outside suppliers for certain things, strengthens the internal supply chain.
Makes sense. Okay, let's zoom out a bit to Malaysia's overall trade and maritime scene. Sounds like a lot is going on there. Transport Ministry reviewing laws.
Yeah, at least 6 maritime laws under review, and they're planning a bill for a dedicated maritime court this year. It's about strengthening the legal framework.
And there was something about tariff evasion.
Right. Deputy Minister Lu Chintong mentioned that Malaysia's neutrality has sometimes been exploited for tariff dodging, so enforcement is getting tighter.
Plus, Transport Minister Anthony Loke is in talks with the U.S. about those potential 25% tariffs.
Correct. Trying to mitigate the impact. It's all part of keeping Malaysia competitive as a major maritime hub, especially with Port Klang aiming for the top 10 busiest ports globally.
So it's really about protecting Malaysia's position and ensuring fair trade.
Exactly. Proactive steps. For businesses listening, it means navigating a more robust, maybe stricter, but ultimately more stable trade environment.
Okay, let's pivot to the global stage now. International and political news. Supply chains and tech trade seem really active. Apple first.
Yeah, Apple's putting serious money, US $500 million into MP Materials, a US rare earths producer.
Bringing the supply chain closer to home. Less reliance on China.
That's the clear goal. Supply chain security. But interestingly, at the same time, NVIDIA and AMD just got the green light from the US to resume selling some AI chips to China.
So pulling back on rare earths, but easing up slightly on certain chips, that seems complex.
It is. It shows this real tension, this balancing act between national security, supply chain control, and, market access. You can't completely decouple, it seems.
And speaking of trade friction, those incoming U.S. copper tariffs. 50%.
Yes, under President Trump. And they're already causing ripples, buyers are cutting back imports, and there are definite inflation worries bubbling up.
So these things, Apple's move, the chip reversal, the copper tariffs, they're all connected, really, reshaping manufacturing, tech, commodity prices.
Absolutely. And those tariffs, like the 25% ones Minister Loke is negotiating over, they directly impact you. Foreign goods get pricier, and businesses often pass that cost on.
Okay, let's look at China's economy. Headline GDP growth was pretty good, 5.2% in Q2.
Better than expected, yeah. But, and this is a big but, deflation is still a major issue. Prices are falling.
So the nominal GDP, the actual cash value generated, was lower.
Much lower, only 3.9%. Falling prices might sound nice, but it kills economic momentum. People delay spending, companies delay investing.
Because they expect things to get even cheaper.
Right. It's a dangerous cycle. So Beijing's now focused on tackling overcapacity in industry, which could mean significant restructuring ahead, with global consequences, of course.
Finally, U.S. monetary policy. Kevin Warsh, he's a potential Fed chair pick, right?
A top contender, yes. And he's now openly talking about cutting interest rates, which, interestingly, aligns with President Trump's wishes.
That raises questions about the Fed's independence, doesn't it?
Big questions. especially when you combine it with the latest U.S. inflation numbers. Consumer prices rose 0.3% in June. Some are seeing that as an early sign of those tariffs starting to bite.
So for our listeners, this mix of potential Fed shifts and rising inflation could directly hit their borrowing costs, their mortgages, everyday prices.
Absolutely. It impacts your wallet directly. The whole picture, Fed policy, inflation, political influence, it's something to watch very closely.
Wow. Okay, quite a deep dive today.
Yeah.
From specific company moves here in Malaysia, like Chin Hin or Nationgate, right through to these huge global shifts in trade, tech, and economic policy in China and the U.S.
It's all deeply interconnected, isn't it? You pull one thread and it affects the whole web.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So the big question we leave you with is, how will all these shifts, global trade tensions, domestic crackdowns, potential policy changes, reshape your investment strategy, or even just consumer behavior in the next few months?
Yeah. What stands out most to you from everything we've discussed today?
A lot to think about. For more analysis like this, breaking down the news that impacts your money and your world, make sure you subscribe to the Malaysia Money Matters podcast. Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you would like a deeper dive into all the investment opportunities from today's news, subscribe to my newsletter at moneymatters.substack.com. I will be sharing a deeper analysis of the key investment opportunities from today's news, including what makes these opportunities stand out and how they fit into the broader market trends. By subscribing to the Malaysia Money Matters newsletter, you will also get exclusive insights on my watch list and portfolio and fundamental reports on Malaysian listed companies.